Greetings, Mr. Dean Roger Ray. I would like to let you know something, or as collectively, we, that you cannot threaten, harass, or stalk, or drive people into complete silence like you are already trying to do. We, the people who use the internet, do not agree with what you are trying to do to us. Threatening forms of causing problems with our families, trying to get other people to go after us and attack us, effectively using them, is very, very cowardly and is uncalled for. We, the people of the internet, and who remain to be anonymous, do not like that. We have a right, and so do you, to freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of choice, and freedom, like everything else, that does not break the law. You, of all people, accusing us of everything you've said in the past, and present, and currently right now, and probably will in the future, is completely unacceptable, and there is nothing to back up what you've actually said. You continue to use propaganda against us, Mr. Dean Roger Ray, and that is really unacceptable. You posted your docs online and accused us, Anonymous, and the entire internet collective, of posting your information online and harassing you. Well, only the select fools that actually carried out that shit are the ones who actually did that. Not everybody on the internet. The internet consists of about more than at least a few billion users each day. Not everybody uses 4chan. You should really get that fact straight. And if you really have a problem with 4chan, you should take it up with Moot, the person who actually runs the site. The person who actually founded 4chan. That would be a very smart option to do. Now, driving people into complete silence just because, 1, they don't agree with you, 2, you don't agree with them, 3, you don't like what they're saying, 4, they don't like what you're saying, and 5, because they're plain old haters and trolls that people end up coming across on the internet anyway. You cannot do anything about that. You cannot tell them to stop expressing themselves online. You cannot use over 50 sock accounts, or over 100, to stop them. You cannot drive people into complete silence with threats, harassments, and everything else like that. That is against the law. And you, sir, Mr. Dean Roger Ray, are breaking the law. You need to stop that right away before you get yourself into any more problems that you cannot even handle. Before you get into any problems that you cannot actually eat. Like, take a giant bowl of food, for example. You can only fill it so much before it starts tipping over. You can only eat so much of that food until you cannot eat no more. You can only put so much into your mouth on a spoon, or else you would choke, or it would fall out of your mouth, or you'd spit it up. Please, don't get yourself into any more problems than you already are. Seriously. And no one tolerates half or modified truth. You are simply modifying the truth and making up propaganda used by big media. Big media is something we don't like. And you are harming our image. But actually, no, you are not harming our image. You are harming your own image. And you need to stop that. If you harm your own image, people are not going to take you seriously anymore. So please cease and stop that. Regards, Anonymous. And one more thing, Mr. Dean Roger Ray. I, of all people, will not tolerate being told not to speak, express myself, or do anything of the sorts on the internet. I have been told that before. I have been harassed, threatened, and stalked, falsely accused and smeared and defamed. But has that stopped me from expressing myself online and using the internet for a whole? No, it has not. It has actually gotten me to be much tougher than I really was back in 2008, 2007, 2006, and 2005, and 2004 actually. I have grown stronger and more knowledgeable. I am really experienced on what you're actually doing, and you're really making yourself a fool. Because I, for one, will not shut the fuck up. I, for one, will not stop what I'm doing. And I, for one, will not be told what to do by somebody on the internet who also lives in Canada, but who also has to remind themselves not to get into other people's business. Thank you. Regards, Anonymous. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.
How's everybody doing this evening? I certainly hope you're doing well. You know, this is going to be a little bit different video than videos past. But I'm going to explain to you in detail why it is that I support Anonymous.
Hello?
Hello.
Who's this?
What do you want?
You called me.
Hey, fuck you, you cunt. I could come down there with my fucking AR-15 and shoot your fucking old loser ass right there in Independence, Missouri. Now call here again, motherfucker, and that's just what I'll fucking do, you cocksucker! Fuck you, motherfucker!
What do you want?
Yeah.
This isn't funny.
Hey, fuck you, you nigger motherfucker, your fucking wife, and fuck your fucking kids, you fucking asshole! I'm coming to fucking your house, motherfucker!
Can you just tell everyone to just stop calling me?
No. Fuck you!
It's stupid thing. Why do I make it?
Hey, eat me, you cocksucker.
I truly do. I support and believe in their ideology and the way they go about doing things. Now, as I know it, Anonymous was created back in 2003, and they came from different forums all over the web, specifically 4chan, predominantly 4chan, all right? And what's really neat about this organization is they have no absolute leadership. They don't have presidents and vice presidents.
Money.
And generals and secretary of states and that sort of thing. No. It's more like every man is his own army, but collective.
What do you want?
Yeah.
This isn't funny.
Hey, fuck you, you nigger motherfucker, your fucking wife, and fuck your fucking kids, you fucking asshole! I'm coming to fucking your house, motherfucker!
Can you just tell everyone to just stop calling me?
No.
In order to somehow go after either a certain organization, whether it be a financial institution, or maybe a world government, who knows? And these people act in such a way, and they have different sets of skills.
There's a conspiracy theory. Let's start a fucking Chang is a dead conspiracy theory. Or he was murdered by somebody on fucking YouTube. Who could that have been? We got a fucking murder, a transvestite, fucking strangulation videos all online in advance. The whole thing's going down in flames, folks. And I bet you if we fucking come up with some bullshit, we can even somehow get Van Helten into this too. We can even somehow fucking claim that Von Helten was involved in coordinating this whole thing. We just gotta get thinking. And the rage will be fucking epic. We'll hear the rage fucking shows for weeks while everyone who's involved tells us how they're not pissed about it.
That can create absolute chaos and havoc on any given target.
More motivation,
You still don't understand what our children are up against? Let me read you something that was posted on our message boards from someone who claims to be a member of a known pedophile network. It said this: he doesn't forgive, he does not forget, his group has over 9,000 penises, and they're all raping children. So, I want you to know they're organized, and they have systematic ways of hurting children, and they use the internet to do it. These are the predators that are molesting and raping our children, then trading the photos and videos online. And I want to stress again, this is not about politics. It's about giving the dedicated men and women of law enforcement who are trying to catch these predators the resources that...
Now, people call these individuals terrorists. They say, oh, but Anonymous, the members of Anonymous are terrorists. Really now? Well, how do you figure? They're terrorists because you said they're terrorists? Or they're terrorists because they're putting an absolute wrench in your day? Are they terrorists because you said they were? Or are they terrorists because everybody said they were? I'm not understanding this. And by the way, one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. I'm monographed, and if you can't speak freely, you're simply not free. Have a good night.
Hello, I am back. Yes, I am responding to a comment from Here Be Fools about the Waco, Texas incident and the flame tank. There's no such thing as a flame tank.
I'd like to focus on the search warrant. First, it was put together, as a number of witnesses have testified, in a prejudicial and inflammatory manner. And second, it clearly misstates the U.S. Code statute number for the offense charged, and I think makes other technical mistakes in the law, which means to me it was put together in a sloppy fashion. Now, you put together inflammatory with sloppy. That translates to me that ATF was in a hurry to make a big splash with something.
Hello? No, honey, nobody's gonna come and kill you.
Are they gonna come and kill me?
No. No. Nobody's coming.
A second hole is made in the side of the building, and a third hole is made at the front door. What these tanks are doing in each picture is collapsing the inside stairwells. The following footage proves beyond any doubt that the tanks intentionally set the house on fire. It proves that the Branch Davidians were murdered. Watch carefully as the tank backs out of the house. You can see that this tank has a gas jet on the front that shoots fire. You can also see the fire quite plainly. The tank goes into the house twice, and each time as it backs out, the fire at the gas jets is plainly visible.
So to speak. But I can't explain what happened at Waco to give people an idea scientifically of what actually occurred there and what happened, why it happened. Now, what they had done was, in order to flush the Branch Davidians out of the compound, they attempted to flood the compound with tear gas. Now, tear gas can be dangerous in high concentration in confined areas. I'm going to show you the so-called flame tank, which is not a tank at all. This is a Mark 88 tank recovery vehicle. It's like a tow truck for armored vehicles. You see this large boom on here? Let me get a pin here so I can see this large boom here. What they did was they ran lines up through this. They punched a hole in the side of the building with this large boom and pumped tear gas directly into the building. Alright. Now, the tear gas, the CS gas that they were using, is lethal in high concentration in confined areas. If one hadn't left the building, they would have died regardless, because of this. There were such high concentrations of it. Now, when you take that and you couple that, and you also factor in the fact that the CS gas also becomes flammable in high concentration. A muzzle flash from a rifle would ignite that, in a sense burning the building to the ground and anyone who failed to come out. A lot of the Branch Davidians did come out of the building. In fact, they came out through the very hole that the Mark 88 created when it rammed that boom.
Most of the remaining Davidians were concentrated here in the kitchen dining room area. It was their only way out except for one thing. Two men outside were firing machine guns at them.
They didn't want him to come out. They wanted to kill him.
Fire was just going on and on. We realized nobody came out, thinking maybe my husband didn't get out, but my children got out. A horrible, horrible way to die.
Point in my rolling on the floor and trying to protect myself from the heat and being in the pitch black, not able to see, but the voices of those behind me screaming kind of got through to me. I recognized who they were. Could identify the voices. That kind of galvanized me to just leap to my feet and jump or dive head first in the general direction of where I figured the hole was. When I stood up, the skin was rolling off my hands. My coat was all melted on my back and smoking. Now, I looked back over my shoulder, and the hole had just come out with a mass of flames. And the first thought that came to me was, I'm the only one.
Through the side of the building. The survivors of that actually escaped by doing just that. They came out around the Mark 88 recovery vehicle and were taken into custody at that time. A lot of those people were actually not found to be guilty of any wrongdoing. David Koresh was a fanatic. He was a Jim Jones, so to speak.
One of the prophecies that had been around Mount Carmel since 1934 called for an ultimate confrontation between God's people, or those at Mount Carmel, and the forces of an armed apostate power called Babylon. Perhaps with that in mind, in 1991, he began studying armaments and buying and selling guns. He pretty quickly found out there's a lot of money to be made at gun shows, and he and other people started going to gun shows.
He was trying to... He was pulling his own Captain Ahab. And that he knew he was going down, and he wanted all of his people to go down with him.
Firearms. And I go, I got David Koresh on the phone. And David Aguilera, he jumps up and goes, don't go, don't go. And I go, I got him on the phone. And he goes,
they never once followed up on that offer. Never even tried.
That was the problem with David Koresh. It didn't matter if there was FBI, military, or police. He was not going to come out. He had made the decision that he was going to die in that compound, and that he wanted his followers to die with him, much as Jim Jones did at Jonestown. There are a lot of parallels between these two individuals. However, I really wanted to discuss the flaming tank, being that the flaming tank does not exist, or the flame tank, or whatever. There were M3 Bradley fighting vehicles deployed, and there were M113 armored personnel carriers deployed, absolutely. because they were taking rifle fire from the compound. Now, as far as who fired first, that's up to debate. That's up for debate. But it's really hard to say. It really is. Eyewitness testimony on both sides claims that the Davidians fired first, the FBI fired first, that there were even special forces on site, and that perhaps they had fired first. Who knows?
Hi, my name's Dean Roger Ray, and today I'm looking at something about David Raymond Amos. And usually I go over this stuff and my mind wanders and drifts as this guy just goes over so much stuff. It's very difficult to comprehend, but I did find something very interesting. This is some kind of radio show David Amos went on.
David Raymond Amos, this guy has been through a lot. Our government, United States government, USSA, United Socialist States of America, has tried to put our guest tonight in Guantanamo Bay. He's got a lot to tell. He's a major whistleblower. He's got a lot to share about the Madoff, Arlen Specter. He's going to be giving his insight on that, as well as Elliot Spitzer and other crimes that our government has been involved in and continues to be involved in. David Raymond Amos, welcome to the show tonight.
Thank you, sir. Good day, folks.
Now, David, tell us a little background about who is David Raymond Amos before we get started. Who is Mr. David?
Well, David Amos is just a guy, nobody special. My forte is I'm a really good bike mechanic. At one time I was anyway, so much so that the RCMP used to hire me as an expert witness to my knowledge of motorcycles, where I testified at a coroner's inquiry or I would inspect bikes or stuff like that. I'm a bike mechanic. Years later, I wound up married to a nice...
Okay, and I'm going to leave it at that, that he was a okay, what was that again? He was a professional what?
And I'm a proud father of 2 Yankees, although I'm a very proud Canadian. It shouldn't make me a...
Anyway, just rewind this YouTube tape, but anyway, I gotta hear that again.
Recorded live. And we're speaking with David Raymond Amos. This guy has been through a lot. Our government, United States government, USSA, United Socialist States of America, has tried to put our guest tonight in Guantanamo Bay. He's got a lot to tell. He's a major whistleblower. He's got a lot to share about the Madoff, Arlen Specter. He's going to be giving his insight on that, as well as Elliot Spitzer and other crimes that our government has been involved in and continues to be involved in. David Raymond Amos, welcome to the show tonight.
Thank you, sir. Good day, folks.
Now, David, tell us a little background about who is David Raymond Amos before we get started. Who is Mr. David?
Well, David Amos is just a guy, nobody special. My forte is I'm a really good bike mechanic. At one time I was anyway, so much so that the RCMP used to hire me as an expert witness to my knowledge of motorcycles, where I testified at a coroner's inquiry or I would inspect bikes or stuff like that. I'm a bike mechanic.
Okay, so here's a bike mechanic that testifies for bikes. Do you guys believe that? Do you really believe that? Like, seriously, folks. The material in this site, absolutely ridiculous. And one of the deals that, you know, like here, I'll just bring it up. Is okay. This. Hello, I'm Dean Roger Ray, and I would like to talk about David Raymond Amos and his connection with HA. Now, here's a guy that it says the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club, HAMC, is a worldwide 1% motor gang whose members typically ride Harley-Davidson motorcycles in the United States and Canada. The Hells Angels are incorporated as the Hells Angels Motorcycle Corporation. Their primary motto is, when we do right, no one remembers. When we do wrong, no one forgets. Both the Federal Bureau of Investigation and Criminal Intelligence Service in Canada classify the Angels as one of the big four outlaw motorcycle clubs contending violence, drug dealing, trafficking, extortion, and, you know, all the other stuff. But here's the history. The history of the Hells Angels is shrouded in mystery and controversy, due in part by the various individuals being solely attributed to founding, and due part to very strict code of secrecy. Okay, basically, in this history, the name Hells Angels was believed to be inspired by the common historical use in World War I, World War II squadrons. Okay. Now, where Hells Angels originally came from was Freemasonry, because Freemasonry is the #1 military club fraternity in the United States, and best way to look that up would be to go to Bing. At one time I could use Hells Angels. I could type in Hells Angels and type in Freemasonry, and I could get a match. Let's see if I still can. I don't know if they've blocked that or not from searches, but we'll try it and simplify things. Okay, basically what Freemasonry, how Freemasonry links to the basic Illuminati is that anything the RCMP can't do, like super dirty work, or the spy agencies can't do, they rely on the organized crime to take care of it. Much the same as the Mafia comes from Propaganda 2 Lodge, right? And it's the same as Hells Angels coming from... Now, David Raymond Amos is a link between Hells Angels and the RCMP. Now, I mean, I'm having a hard time finding these links again, but it's been... they're trying to distance themselves now, so there's not much information. I used to find lots, but... when I look up Freemasonry and RCMP, though, okay, you get a lot of stuff. You get Freemasonry Watch, Brother Harper, RCMP pointed an editorial for Taser comment. Or, you know, you get a lot of the people, sanctioned killers. RCMP have been aiding a known group of killers to avoid justice for many years in Canada. These killers were later identified as being confidential protected police informants. Police have gone to great lengths to protect their informants from prosecution and aggressively obstruct the victims' families from having any recourse to justice, functioning as police agents above the law, in certain cases licensed to kill. Little about law governing these untouchables is known, little ever disclosed by the RCMP. In most cases, Canadian laws will prohibit you from knowing or media from publishing identifies of these informants. One is known number of these informants is constantly being increased. So basically what I'm getting at is there is a very direct link between Amos, RCMP, and Freemasonry. And Amos did go in and he tried to destroy Byron Pryor. And Byron Pryor's not too happy about that. And if you look at his channel, he's got posted on his thing, he's got where he talked to Byron Pryor. Yet Byron Pryor hasn't logged in the last 4 weeks. So that's a big joke. I mean, this guy is a total joke. But you know, if it was funny, it would be a joke. The sad part is that he's helping us become slaves.
How's everybody doing today? I certainly hope you're doing well. Man, I tell you what, I am calling on my Canadian friends for a little guidance. And for people that live in England as well, maybe you can give some guidance to, you know, someone that I know, okay? Now, let me give you this situation here. A gentleman on the inner tubes by the name of Mr. Anonymous Dick has made me aware that, you know, a user by the name of Tesla Coils and UK Troll are having some sort of correspondence via email and comments on their pages that they want to murder Monograph. They want to murder Annie White and they want to murder Bubba. Now, they want to lob off the head of Annie White and videotape her, you know, her last, you know, expression, if you will, of life or whatever. I mean, it's so preposterous, let me tell you. And, you know, it's one thing to troll somebody and poke and prod and make conjecture and, you know, splice up videos and carrying on and about. And it really is. But it's an entirely different scenario to sit there and conspire with somebody on committing the act of murder. Okay? Now, I don't know about you, but I know Monograph really well, and we're pals, and I don't want to see anything happen to him. Now, see, what it boils down to, as far as Tesla Coils is concerned, I don't really believe that he has the balls enough to come see me face to face. I just don't believe it, okay? So, somehow he wants to get a hitman to knock off Monograph, okay? If you can even imagine, okay? The fact of the matter is, I really don't believe that you got the balls enough to come see me face to face. I just don't. That's not a challenge. That's just my opinion. I don't know if you're not getting laid, or you're not getting enough, you know, candy in your system, or you're pissed off the world, and I don't really care. Okay? But you need help, man. You need to get some kind of treatment. Okay? I don't know if you're off your medication. I don't know if you're drinking some really messed up water. I really don't know. But you need to get a grip. There's another thing, too. As far as UK Troll, you know, you're talking about, you know, craziness with Annie White and Bubba. Man, you need to get a grip on yourself. Okay? So again, for the people that reside in England, maybe you can give Annie or Bubba some sort of guidance. Some sort of, you know, way to deal with this. I don't really know. Now, I have contacted CMP, and they told me in several emails to contact my local law enforcement. However, I don't know that that's the appropriate way to go about it because, see, Tesla Coils resides in Canada, and UK Troll resides in England. And if I make a complaint here, then, you know, I would have to trust that they, meaning the local law enforcement here, would contact Interpol. Interpol would contact CMP, in which they may or may not take action. You see what I'm saying? So if you're a Canadian, you tell me how to deal with this, because I really don't know how to deal with it. But I tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to link Mr. Anonymous Dick's video to this video until he either approves my video response or not. I also am going to leave a link to Tesla Coils Blog TV so I can get a look at this guy and see who he is. And then I will leave a link to let's see, who else will I leave a link to? I will leave a link to I'm not going to link to his page. That's retarded. I'm not going to give him that sort of attention. But again, if you're in Canada and you're Canadian and you subscribe to the Monograph channel and you have any ideas on how to deal with this from my point of view, it'd be appreciated. If you're from England and you can give some sort of guidance to NEL White or Bubba on how they too can deal with the situation, because the other party is in England, I'm sure that would be well appreciated as well. But, man, I don't want anything to happen to Monograph. We are pals, okay? I mean, we do a lot of crazy stuff together, but I don't want anything happening to him. I'm Monograph, and if can't speak freely, you're simply not free. Y'all have a great day.